Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of CanalTown here in City Skylines, where we recently built a brand new industry, which was the forest industry, and it actually went a lot more smoothly than I expected. So much, in fact, we're ready to move on to the next phase of the industry, and that is to allow public transport to kind of get in and out of the area to transport the workers to and from the workplace. Guys, if you are enjoying this series and want to see more, then make sure you smash that like button down below. If you are new in here, then make sure you do subscribe so you get notified when more episodes do come out. But we're back, and this is the beautiful industry. Now, we had a lot of vehicles trying to line up to get in. I don't know where all those vehicles came from, but things have now seemed to have died down a bit. I think we're now at normal operating capacities, and it goes pretty well. We got the kind of the barracks buildings are there for the workers. We got all the production buildings, which is the farms for the trees and stuff like that. I'm not sure if the import is mainly on the fact that we had all those vehicles coming in, it's still registering that, or whether the fact we are still importing. I'm not too sure yet. I'm still going to give it time to die down and see what happens. And then we have our buildings over here that produce the goods. Now, we don't have any warehouses to store the goods being produced, and obviously from this is the paper and planed timber. We'll get those in at some point as well. But I want to kind of set up the ability to get public transport leading over here. Now, what we need to do is we've got a couple of canal routes that we implemented as well recently. We need to change how the highway and the train lines around it interact and how they are visually seen, so I can get a couple of kind of canal stops in to get some boats chugging along. And then we've also got to figure out then, where are we actually going to have the canal systems or the routes kind of leading to and from? That's going to be the exciting bit as well. So, we've got a lot of work to do. And first things first then, we got to take a look at, the edges of where we have the availability to build a canal stop. So, in that kind of sense, you can see around here right now, the highway here, which is a little bit tight, I have it because I need it at both sides to have canals coming from both directions. So where we have this little kind of gap section here, we have to build a bridge connect over. We'll have to make this kind of go under, make this go under, even make this go underground as well, just to give us that additional space to build these canal systems. So let's focus on that first then. Let's start with a train line over here. And we're going to make this. We're going to upgrade it to be underground. So on that bend just there, if I upgrade all of this, we'll also have to obviously make sure that it's low enough that it visually looks like it's underground. And then if I select... Now, do I need to select this above or below? There we go. So select that one there. And then this one here. So out of underground mode, can I get out of this mode? There we go. I can now visually see it as we go down, down, down. And then all I need to do is go back to the beautiful underground mode. And then select you to there. Quick and simple, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Right, that train line is now underground. This is perfect. So I could add a stop here. I could add a stop there as well. We'll do a bridge connecting over because obviously we need the surface vehicles to get to it to get rid of the trash and the crime and if it ever burns down. So that's all good. I'm going to do one over here as well. So we've still got very limited space. I don't know whether to make this go underground. But I do like it visually being, visible. It's a tough one. We're going to do this one next then. So I'm going to pause the game as well. And we'll also upgrade you. We'll bring this somewhat some distance and then make it pop back up. I'm going to do all of this as well because we don't visually need to see it until about there anyway, so we can kind of get away with it. And then select you and then select you. And if I make them the same alignment as the ones we had over here, it should be enough because the elevation and of the land should technically be the same. So if I then select you all the way to over here, I'm hoping this is enough that you don't visually see it through the canal. So let's kind of double check. We're okay with that one. So that kind of hides that for now, which is perfect. And then I want to do the same to this highway here. So I don't want to do it too much because obviously I need to have the connecting road. Just enough there. Actually, do you know what? I don't think we need to do it. I just think we need to elevate it a little bit more to give us that space. Because if I can squeeze it in here, then I can squeeze it in there. It's going to be fine. So let's elevate this highway real quick. So highway, let's go back to normal right now, 3-lane highway, and we will elevate as far as, what, here you reckon? I think so. And then we'll bring it to just there with the elevations. So selecting all that's around, so let's select you, you, and you, and then just raise these up, just ever so gracefully. And then we'll use the alignments here to get these to the heights. So nice gradual alignments. Shouldn't be any issues. Worst case scenario, I could also get a road running around here when I do eventually start building on this kind of area. But that's, you know, for the future. For now, we're just going to do the bare minimum. Alright, sort this out. Alright, we're all good. So that elevates over then. So we've got no issues then with bringing ferries through our canal system. So we've got to also think about then the current routes that we have available. So if I go to boats, la-di-da. It's a little bit hard to see, but coming from here, because obviously this is going to connect up to there, we need them to go around this whole section here. Potentially going down there, and obviously down there. So close by is this brown route here, which goes all the way down, makes a left turn, and then goes through the city. Okay. We had the blue route that kind of comes in and goes down that way, and that in reality is all we have that approaches this whole area. Oh no, we have a dark blue route that loops around, goes down to here. Ah, so that dark blue route, I could actually extend that dark blue route and make it go all the way up here, round, down, where it turns there. I can make it go all the way around and then replicate another one going the opposite way. So that kind of completes that, and then we'll do a few variations coming off it, going down other canal systems. Right, okay. So let me just quickly pause and delete this, because I feel like we should have the transition here be more like that, and then that just connecting like this. So that will update momentarily anyway. Everything else is all connected. So let's just plan out where we're going to have our beautiful little canal ferry stops. So we're going to have to slightly push some of these back as well, because I don't like how they overhang so much. So it might be a better idea to implement the roading. Where we're going, we don't need roads. Well, we kind of do. Right, so having it elevated to the ground. So if I pick just there and just run with like a 10, and then do the same thing just over here. So this should allow me then to drop in a canal stop. Now we've got to stagger these, remember. A canal stop just there. And then, oh, is that one a little bit too far away? Oh no, it's because you have to do the stagger. And is it better to do it up here? I'm trying to think the best way to do this. I reckon we should move this one. Actually, if I put that just there. No, actually, put it over there to then flip it over here. So if I just put it there, I can then hopefully squeeze this one just there, giving me enough space either side to do the loop back around there to connect that in. Now we'll come back to that a little bit later and get it all in, because I don't want to implement one just over here as well. So this is the tough reality that we have to kind of do to get this all in. So one just there, and if I again replicate the exact same thing on this side. So it would be ideal to, I don't want to get this one down here, to be honest with you, because of the way that the bend goes round. So I've got all the space in the world for this one just there. That works for a double stop just there, which is perfect. Very good, sir. Very good. It hasn't really got to bend over. It can just be a straight platform. But I need the road connection for the service vehicles to get to the actual stop itself. So 2 stops there. Access is both ways, both directions to access here and to access over here as well, which is pretty cool. Now, in reality, I don't really have anything down here for them to access, so I might hold out from putting a stop, just at least having the route kind of implemented. But what do we reckon for having an additional stop just here? I know I've got a stop just there, and I know I've got one just there, but the whole crissy-crossy just before they go out, because this route here can have one last stop there as it goes around, and then the one coming this way. Routes intertwine. Which then means I've got to do stops either side down here as well. Oh my goodness me, it never ends, boys. It never ends. So we'll see what we can do here. I think what I need to do is do a little bit of paralleling, if that's the correct term, and bring that out just to about there, and then flip it just to about there. Good stuff, good stuff. So I'll implement this one, because this one is on the same run as that. I'll put it a little bit further down, so it's a little bit further away. And then this one will just simply drop there. It's fine to drop it there, that's all good. And we'll come back to those as well. Okay, glorious. So now then, because I'm going to have one going the opposite way, obviously I need to have a ferry stop on the opposite way as well. Which this is always slightly bending for the most part, so I've got to use that parallel tool, which actually worked out pretty well for us. So if I go from there, let's just say to here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Come back to that because we'll do the next one next while we got the tool up and running. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bam. And then do we have any others? We have one just here. So we'll implement these systems and we'll figure everything else out after. So we don't have any down here. We don't have any down there. But then I'm going to need to replicate some over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bam. I don't know if this is the correct number, but I'm rolling with it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then is there one more? Oh, there's 2 more. Okay. So we'll just do this one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bam. 1 there. And then that's the final one as it runs down to here. Okay, gotcha. So there's always room to add more in as time goes on. It depends on how busy the areas get. There we go. 5. Ba-bam. So let's now implement all of these canal stops on all of these routes. So we'll throw you just there. Moving down to the next one. It's got to be far enough down that it doesn't kind of get caught up within that. So just there's fine. So no more around here until I start building on that area. I have no reason to access it just at the moment. Alright, that will go right to the end. Right to the end. I have to go on this side for that one. Bam. And that's all of it. Okay, great stuff. So now we just got to go through it all and get it all connected up via road as well, making sure it's all got water, everything's all intertwined and connected, and then we're pretty much good to go. So, there's a few ways in which we can think about adding this. So we also need to unhook, oh, wrong button, unhook these segments. Ouch. So we have to go through each one of these again. So unlock, delete, unlock, delete. It's quite a painstaking task, but this is just what we have to do, unfortunately. Right, gotta find the lock, unlock, delete. We can always come back to that and re-add it in anyway. Next. So these should no longer be double-sided. These should all be one-sided right now, because we've already got them in on the other side anyway. Right, where's the... Oh, there it is. Some of it is a lot more difficult to actually try and get the segment that it's locked to. Okay, deleted more than we need, but that's fine. These should be pretty standard. Which makes my whole life a whole lot easier. And there's just this one, and there's one more after, which is just there. Right, good stuff. Okay, that's all done. I can now get back to business, boys. I can now get back to business. So, let's bring the road down then. And there's a couple of ways in which I can kind of get these areas connected anyway. I could just do like a standard bridge connecting over for the road, because in reality, that's what we do within many of these areas. Just a standard bridge going across, and because of how low and flat the ferries are, they can go under the bridges. So I don't need to do some kind of big swooping gesture. I can just kind of keep it really, really simple. Like I could come to here and then elevate it up and over. Standard issue. So my next issue, well, not my next issue, but my next kind of question would be, how are we in reality now going to implement this road to a connection? Do I want it, if I go out by 4 there, so that is a, what is this down to here first? That's a 7. That's a 12. So if I go by a 5, we're getting like a simple 7x7 bend in reality. So I can get this connected to wiggle up to there. That means the only connections for that. But then I could do an underground pop up to there. So it kind of creates like an underground ring road, and we can access it from both angles and areas for the traffic. So, and for the pedestrians anyway. So if I just do something like this, if I kind of increase it a little bit more of a wiggle room, we now have a standardized connection to get over to this area. Now, obviously, I want to try and make it work for everybody. So I'll make it go down by a, we'll go down by a 12. I don't know how much it needs to go down by. Make this go down by a 12 as well. And then just using the connection tool, underground, there to there. Doesn't need to be anything amazing, just really simple to get the connection. That one there is then technically done. It's not perfect or pretty, but for the most part, it does what I need it to do. If that bridge is, I mean, to be honest with you, the water level is a little bit higher in this canal compared to the inner city, so I might need to slightly elevate the bridge, but you can see from the land that we do dip down slightly and over here, so there is room to elevate. But we'll get onto that when we see the canals crossing over. Now, this one should be a lot easier to do. It should be a lot easier to do. I could go straight to there, elevate over, right, and then connect in. Right, that one, done. Okay, maybe extend a little bit further down. But that one's done. Easy, mate, easy. This one should, in reality, be pretty much more of the same. If I bring this going a little bit further down, just to kind of get this as a snapping junction just there. And I wonder if, would I utilize this going up? If so, can I magically connect with the connection tool from here to here? Just something a little extra. Just to utilize this area a bit more. It's not the perfect. I can maybe have bulked this further down. So something like that. Maybe slightly bend or bring that up a bit. Right, we get away with that. That works. And then for this itself, I could just straight up. I might need to use the parallel tool again right now. If I bring that to there, flip it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, add that in, and then obviously connect you just there. There's a type of connection just here we can use, because they're really going to go in that direction anyway, aren't they? Just need to play around with that. So they all go under the bridge perfectly fine, which is pretty cool to see. There is a slight node just there. And of course, this needs a little bit of water. It should have the power. Yeah. So, tightly squeezed in, but it should work. It should work. And there's multiple lines crossing on that one as well. So, we can get double stops and double crisscrosses happening. So, that's great. So this then, some of these roads are a little bit longer than they need to be. But the interesting part right now is how we kind of handle a connection straight over. Because I could do something as simple as that. This is where the parallel tool needs to be now utilized to configure where a potential crossing could lie. So I added that there. I know we got to delete that to re-add it back in. But then we get away with this elevated route directly over to there. And you don't really lose anything from that. So that's in. Maybe this road is then a tad bit long. You can end there. I know it's quite a long walk, but that's just to kind of make it where it doesn't... You don't lose anything conditional. Got the power. We're okay. Same for this. I mean, the connection in reality is down there, but we have this area now to connect and utilize. So until that is all up and running, this is how it is. And I think this will be played much better to connect to this side than opposed to that side, because they could walk across the bridge. Yes, it's a long walk, but, you know, it's not going to kill in reality, is it? I could do a footbridge. So that's what I could change on that. So if this came out... Now, this is where you start to think, okay, would it be better to sink this whole rail line? The answer is probably yes. The answer is probably yes on this point. It will allow me to build a little bit further back. So let's tunnel this as of there. Alright, and we'll do the same what we did on the other side. We'll kind of drop it all under. And then we'll pick the points in which it pops back up again. Because I like the idea of it going across. I think we'll only take it to there, which will be fine. So underground, we're obviously picking here, and we're going all the way over here because they should be the same elevation. So bring this right down. So I'll go to there with that one. It looks okay over here. So then with the angling system, there we go. I always forget you got to hold shift now. They kind of updated it to do that. Or is it? Oh, it might be too long for that distance. Right to there, to there. Bam. We should have no elevated sections. But I think it's slightly messed up just here, though, hasn't it? So I pause just to delete you. What is going on there? That's kind of weird, isn't it? That is kind of weird. So to select you, to then obviously raise it up to a normal level to connect to there, transition works. So that opens up this whole area right now to work with, which is glorious. Absolutely glorious. It could mean that I can do some crisscrosses, but I like the bridges going over. To be honest with you, it means I can get rid of those bridges and have just more normal crisscrossing happening. Right, we'll save that for another time. Because right now, I'm trying to figure out how I can connect this up better. I could just do a simple bend. That's 11 by 13. So, 11 by 11. Connect in. Slightly a little bit off. But just for the sake of having that connection, it kind of works. Now, we'll configure... I won't do a bridge going across, because I feel like I need to reconfigure the whole of this run. So, yeah. And let's make it go underground further down here, so I can access all of this area. That would be better. So, what I'll do here is just a standard system like that. How did all my road get deleted? I feel like I should reposition this. Maybe down to there. So I'm going to have to now re-unhook it. If I'm so lucky. Oh, there we go. It was just there for a minute. There we go. That little segment there makes my life a whole lot easier. So yeah, we'll have to redo all that at some point. That's going to be quite a nice little fun project, so that would be kind of cool. We are going to upgrade all this to be dirt road because we're now in the old countryside. Why can I not upgrade it? I think I just locked it, so it couldn't be upgraded. That's kind of funny, isn't it? Right, okay, so we'll go from there straight over. That creates the bridge. Perfectly fine. So down here, we do the same again. So we initially want to get all that upgraded like that. Extend you down a little bit. Have said connection. That will be fine. Same again for this. Oh, no, I've deleted. Whoops! I deleted it. What a noob. What a noob. Right, flip it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we got to figure out the crisscross, which I reckon could happen here. Like that. And that's completely fine. So I put it back into play mode anyway, because now we're okay. We have slight additional trust in myself. Straight over. Don't need all that strip there, so that can end like that. And that's all the Canal ferry stops that I want for now. They're all connected up to some degree. So we can now utilize this then. So before we add additional... Oh, there's actually a vehicle using that little bypass. So before we add additional routes on, let's just see our current routes and how they can crisscross and utilize these new stops. So this brown route here can now have a stop just there. The blue route here can now have a stop just there. So they can both utilize that. And I don't want to edit or update them routes. I want to leave them as they are. There's no ferry going down on the opposite side through any of this. So that is the only bit I can update right now before we add a new route on. Now, I do want to move this the dark blue route to going around to then stopping up here. So I'm adjusting the blue route now. The dark blue, because that's going to come down to here, and where it would take that bend, it's now going to stop over here. And is there 2 stops? There's one there, and then I've got to get to stop on this one. So that now stops there with that one. And where it would do the bend here, because now it's going to go back down to make the turn there, because it stops here, and that's what I don't want it to do. So if I get rid of that, that should then have reformatted and moved the blue route to then bend down here. So its first stop that it comes across would stop there. Right. And then it comes and stops down here. Oh no, it already stops there. It already stops there because it would have stopped here and then made the turn. Gotcha. Gotcha, boys. So we've got that free-flowing system right now. Now the only thing we don't have, because what that gave to us is both the brown and the blue route came to here to stop there, and then the blue route turned this way, transporting or transferring people from over here onto this run, which they don't get the privilege right now. But then again, that stop is kind of close anyway, if they want to do that, or vice versa. That run, but then the red one runs this way to stop there, which can be crisscrossed over. There's still ways to do it, but there is also additional ways for me to create new routes, which is the exciting bit. So that new route's going round then, so we're now going the opposite way with this route. So like I said, there's always going to be additional runs I can switch here, there, and everywhere, but we got this, for the first time ever, this purple run underway. So where this is going to go completely across. No stopping around here. The next stop then is not till over here. To there. To there. Did I get the blue route to stop there? I did. You can tell by the stagger. So the purple route then goes down to here. And then that is the final route for all of that, where it then comes back over to here and ends just there. Perfect! Perfect, perfect, perfect. So that new route, now that purple one I just added in is the only new route that I've now implemented. So if I do it by line name, which is line 13, I got to change it. Is it the Blick Spree? Yes. Now, I don't know how many ferries that we're going to need, so that will be just something that we kind of figure out as time goes on. So that's going to be interesting. Now, because I've got rid of the old crissy-crossy loopy system here, we could think about maybe implementing something additional. So they can crisscross on the lines a whole lot easier. Now, I don't have a turn there. And I don't have a right turn here. I don't have a right turn there, nor do I have a right turn coming down here. So I think the perfect one would be, it's going to be a simple route. A simple route here, where it would turn there. And this route here will be the one that links all these lines together, so people can crisscross different routes a whole lot easier. So that's going to be the only reason for that line, which I don't see it needing many, which is a kind of like a dark yellowy, dirty greeny color, isn't it? Which I don't see us needing many ferries on that route. But that's just trying to give us the additional linkage between all of these lines, because this area is going to be built. Now I've got rid of that train line. This area is going to be built up quite dramatically when you think about it. Which I then have the extra space down these canals here to add additional stops in when I do build this area up. And with the linkages of these additional stops over there, when I do push all this back, I can get connections to them ferry lines kind of stops as well. So this is, it's amazing. I mean, I can add more stops down here. I've got to bring something down here as well. Because at the moment, I don't really have any stop down there. But because I don't really have anything coming up here, it doesn't really make much sense in the minute. And you know, worst case scenario, they can just utilize this run down here until I build this more up. But it just gives me the access to utilize these areas a bit more. And that's quite exciting. I've unlocked these areas now to build on because we can now reach them. Right, let's sort this out here anyway. So if I raised you up, because of the height difference on the highway, I'm just gonna, I'll do this manually. Alright, we'll bring it to there. Because you can't do it too much, because at the end of the day, you're going to have the freaking the ferry stop there hovering. So that would do fairly well for us. Oh, actually, do you know what? A bit more. Because, yeah, like I said earlier, the water on this canal section is a little bit higher than the other ones. So we kind of have to create like a little bit of a land barrier as the water flows in. But it does mean that that canal right now, that boat, this is the great thing I love about these, they're so low that they can go under like low bridges. So that's really good. So you got the odd person. I mean, they won't heavily be used, these ones at the minute, but it does give me access to all of this land. And when we do get more buildings around here, then we'll be used so much more. You know, build it and they will come, they say. Well, I built it, no one's coming. But I'm more interested in these new stops on the opposite line as well. So it's just little bits and bobs I gotta do right now to kind of configure this. Just getting this slightly raised over the actual edges of the canal. We're seeing lots of people use it, which is quite cool to see. No bridges over here. We got the old crisscross happening right there. Same over here as well. There's a lot of people on this one over here, isn't there? Might need to configure a few more ferries on that. So, just sorting this out right now. So, these bridges are slightly over it. We have one over on this side. There we go. And then we have this one here. It's always on the new side, isn't it? I think because I've already done the other side. So that would be pretty cool then. Again, it will take a while before we see these on full cycle. Because it's going to take a couple of loops for them to all be then nicely spaced out, if that's the best way to put it. So it will take some time, but it will be done at some point. Now, how is this forestry area doing, by the way? Making good money, which is pretty cool to see. I just want to now implement some of the warehouses for it. So while they are producing the goods, it would be pretty nice to kind of implement the ability to store them locally. So if I come out by let's go by a 15. I want to create like a slight loop between all of this. So come out by another 10, and then we'll do a 10 by 10 bend. Pushing this all the way down, where we'll have a nice little standardized connection there. I know the elevation is changing dramatically. Oh, wrong one. And then we just want to get these connected up here. So, do you reckon that's a 20 by 20 I can get away with? Oh, yes, that's perfect. There we go. Now, this ain't really going to do much, because when I place down the warehouses, we're going to have to terraform it even more. If I just quickly pause, if I flatten the area a bit more like that, and smoothen it a bit more. Smoothing from the top here, so we're creating like the cliff edge hanging over slightly. There we go. We'll dig into a bit. They're going to have some good views down here of the forestry industry. While they, you know, preserve the trees, they chop down the trees at the bottom of the hill. So, what I was going to say is anyway, is warehouses. I'll do 2 large warehouses. So, the slope is going to be way too steep here, which we are completely well aware of. But if I bring this, let's just say down to there. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to work, because it's probably not going to work. But the slope is very steep. But I get that in. And then we need to kind of slightly change the elevation. I'm wondering if I can use a key wall just to try something a little bit different here. So if I bring this right up just to there, and then because this might not work. This is just going to be a complete, like, fantasy at this moment. Alright, so that is then almost all level with all of this. Granted, I need to get rid of these power lines real quick. But would this look right? Oh, I need to build the second one. Let me just get this second one in real quick as well. Oh, hang on, the road's not long enough. Alright, hold on. This might turn out to be pretty cool. Right, like that. Because of the complete sheer height difference, I can utilize the key walls to build a perimeter around this. So, if I go down to here, so that's a 15. What's this one? That is kind of going to be a 15 as well. And then if I do a 2, okay, no, a 3 by 3. And then I'm going to run this up to there. Now, we'll have to kind of slightly push this back as well. 3 by 3. Run this up to there. Because it might be a little bit bigger than I want it to be. Alright, select you. Select you. Just push this in a bit right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Do the same on this side so it kind of matches it. I could do all this for no reason. It could look shocking in the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then do I just slightly push this in a bit? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So, this here, both of these little, the beginning of each one should be, you know, the right elevation. So if I enter that elevates the whole thing up. And if I trim it all off so it becomes like an edged area, you're overlooking this big wall, and that's supporting it all the way up. That's so much better, isn't it? It is so much better. So if I then elevate to object to that, right? And then if I use a smaller terrain tool, so if I push this around all the edges, get this all added in. Right, that one bit there needs to be flipped. If I sort all this out on the edge, well, we got to smoothen this. And we just need to invert that one segment. So, oh, come back here, fool. So, invert segment, bam. Ta-da! pretty cool, right? I mean, there's still a few little bits and bobs I need to sort out. But that is pretty cool. That should do us wonders. So if I come off this here with the power line, and that connects down to there. We'll run a connection over to here. We are back up and running. So just gotta give it some water, which only missing just a tad. And then this becomes the plain timber, and this becomes the paper. So we won't make no money as they now go and fill this area all up. But that's quite cool, isn't it? We've kind of done something pretty smart there. We've been able to build where we want it and just stagger the level by using the key walls. Genius. Absolute freaking genius right now. But yeah, not bad. Not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad. So time will tell to see how well these canal systems do. Hopefully the new routes do take a little bit of the edge off some of the other routes. I can see these stops here becoming quite busy. And I might need to do stuff like pushing this. No, it won't really work. Don't mess with it, guys. I'll end up breaking it. But there's already quite a few people here waiting right now. And that is... got 23 people on board. So will the next ferry pick a load of them up? Not really. That is the... that's line 1. Is it you? You're line 5. You're a different line. Ha ha! There we go. They all wanted to go into line 5. Anyway, guys, we'll end it here. We've done some great improvements. We've now got access to a lot of other areas to build on, which is really exciting. So, CanalTown and New Amsterdam can truly grow and expand more than they have ever done before. But for now, guys, we'll end it here. Hope you did enjoy this episode. If you did, smash the like button down below. Until next time, I see you all soon. So